Well, the ongoing conflict between Hezbollah and Israel has laid bare the limitations of the Lebanese government. The caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati has appealed to the UN to impose Article 1701, which forces all belligerents to move back from the border. But it's Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, not the government in Beirut, which is deciding the timing of the war. Well, a very stressed out looking Mikati gave an interview to a Saudi news network a short while ago to talk more about that. We're joined now by Hussain Abdul Hussain, Research Fellow at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracies. Thank you very much for being with us, Hussain. It seems the government in Beirut has almost no say whatsoever about if and when the country goes to war.
Absolutely. It has no say, it has no authority, it has no legitimacy. Keep in mind that Najib Mikati is a caretaker prime minister whose term ended way before the parliamentary election that was held last year. So you have no president, you have no actual government, and Mikati was clearly unable to articulate any point or policy or even answer the basic questions in that interview on the Saudi channel.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that clip, wasn't it? Because he did genuinely appear quite nervous and unsure of what to say.
Well, I think the only thing he's sure about is that he's rehearsing for his new term in case there's ever an election of a president and the formation of a new cabinet. He wants to stay in position, and to do that, he has an audience of one, and that's Hassan Nasrallah, the chief of Hezbollah. So he knows that Hezbollah is watching him and listening to what he's saying, and he wants to win credit with these guys. So that's why he couldn't defend them, but at the same time, he couldn't say anything of substance.
And as you know, Hussain, this is nothing new, is it? Lebanon has been controlled by foreign powers for decades now.
Well, yes, it's unfortunate that since the withdrawal of the Assad troops in 2005, there has been no foreign presence in Lebanon. The unfortunate part here is that Hezbollah acts as a mercenary force. So there are no actual aliens that control Lebanon. There are Lebanese who sell their position to the highest bidder, in this case, Iran. So it's unfortunate that since 1969, when the Lebanese conceded their sovereignty to Arafat and the Palestinian militias at the time, since then, the Lebanese government has never been able to recover its sovereignty and be the one in charge of its borders and of everything else in the country.
All right, Hussain, stay with us. Let me bring in Major General Eitan Dangot. If you could turn your attentions to what's happening in the north. I mean, it's all been about deterrence, hasn't it? We've got these tit-for-tat clashes, but we have seen something of an escalation in the past week or so.
We are waiting for escalation, I may say, because the signs that we get from the north showing on going towards escalation, because the diplomatic activities are stuck. We don't see any kind of development. On the other end, you get the messages from Hezbollah and Iran itself that says we can start to talk only under condition that Israel will stop the war. They join to the demand of Hamas. What does it mean? On the other end, it means that Hamas, Hezbollah and the Iranian are bothering from what's going in Gaza. We always look about the Israeli conditions and the pressure on Israel, on of course of the hostages, but we have to be aware about the direct contact between Gaza. Iran and Hezbollah are on a process of losing their main partner, Hamas, which they built its force for many years. On the other end, in the north, there is the higher flow that coming from the United States that would like to put an umbrella and to close any kind of development for a war, because it can bring much more higher escalation that United States, Iran, Russia can be involved in the region. So, but inside this fact, Israel has to see itself on this first priority. And what does it mean? The returning of the civilian people back to their places, because for now, it's like Hezbollah took a part of the Israeli land by evacuating their population. But on the other end, Israel is reacting very aggressively to each development on the area that is contained now as the war area. It's not moving to the depth or not shorter. And the training, the preparation that Israel is doing for the next step of using the military force is coming to high stage. So in my estimation, still Israel is looking to solve first the issue of their goal in Gaza, but secondly, we will not give up. Each civilian will return, and they will return, but under a new conditions in the border, and the main chances that it will start with the military activity.
All right, thank you. Hussain Abdul Hussain, I mean, Hamas criticized Hezbollah for not participating more fully in the war on Israel. Is Nasrallah kind of trying to reposition himself as a champion of the people of Gaza?
Well, he's been trying to do this for a long time. I don't believe that he'll try to push this further, but I think that Israel has a slam dunk case, and until now, Israel has not made the case yet, which put the Jewish state in a position where Washington is telling Israel to not expand the war. Well, this is not a choice, because by Hezbollah's admittance, Nasrallah himself said that he started war on October 8th to distract the Israeli military force away from Gaza. So this is a slam dunk diplomatic situation that Israel has, that it can argue, and that argument is not being made. So I think sooner or later Israel will have to make this argument and say, listen, either there's verifiable enforcing of 1701, UN Resolution 1701, or we'll have to act, because no country is okay to live next to a militia that can start war whenever it pleases for whatever reason it comes up with.
Okay, Eitan Dangot, I mean, is there any foreign force that Israel can trust to enforce Article 1701?
I think that we have to be much more flexible to look for a solution. First of all, Hezbollah has to withdraw. Which line, under condition, whether it will be 2 acts of withdrawing, I don't know. It's a fact that in this case we are ready to solve also the issue of the problem of the border. Who can be and ensure it? I think that the UN has failed during the years, of course, and didn't have any reaction to the fact that they were very weak and were not allowed by Hezbollah and were thrown outside from the picture more and more. According to who can fulfill it, it can be a force that can be like built on French, people from America. The mechanism that we used in Sinai under agreement about the multiple forces about that are looking in Sinai about fulfill the agreement, in my opinion, is much more serious, and we have to bring such countries to be there, even one of Arab moderate country. So if we are going to a way to organize something agreement that will also put involvement in Gaza, I think we should involve Arab moderate countries also in what's going inside south of Lebanon, countries like the Emirates or Saudi Arabia.
All right, Eitan Dangot and Hussain Abdul Hussain, thank you very much indeed.